Yeah, I said it on Thursday. Felt like there were a couple wrinkles that we could do that would push us over the top. We had been playing well. We had been in every game, but I'm always trying to think about ways to make it even better. And on Wednesday, we kind of rolled out this new shape. Um, Got to sell the players on it, obviously, because have been playing well. But my pitch to them was this was our opportunity to go from good to great, and to create a little bit more, hopefully be even at times even a little better defensively, in the boxes especially. So in the end, it worked out pretty well today.
Next, we'll go to Emma Manouche. She'll be followed by Sam Minton. Emma, you're unmuted.
Yeah, Caleb, you bring up the defense, and there was definitely some major defensive moments today from the back line and Ivicic as well, to keep you guys in the match. How did you feel overall about what you saw defensively?
Yeah, I think they had chances and we had chances. So their goalkeeper also kept them in the match as well, because we had a ton of chances. So for me, I know it's 1-0, but we created a lot of chances. They had a few chances as well, but I'm really pleased with the balance. Really happy with the defending. Again, bottom line is we got a clean sheet. And it was a team effort. We pressed them really well in the first half. We were able to kind of match their 4-2-3-1. We put our players in 1v1s all over the pitch and in duels, and I thought they did an excellent job of that. And then when Ali or the center backs were called upon to make plays, they did.
Next, we go to Sam Minton. He'll be followed by Jeff Lemieux. Sam, you're unmuted.
Hello, Caleb. Congrats on the win. I just kind of wanted to ask you about Peyton Miller. On the second disallowed goal, the commentators noted how his positioning, kept the goal scorer offsides. Just overall, how is he kind of evolving as a player, and just what is his kind of soccer IQ like?
Yeah, I mean, great player, really talented, huge upside. In this, system that we're playing as a wing back now, he can even be more aggressive. Thought him and Eli had an excellent, game overall. We did feel like Peyton faded a little bit and got tired. They started throwing, Lennon at him 1v1 a lot. So I thought Will Sands did a good job when he came into the game to kind of lock it down defensively. But Peyton was extremely dangerous, and he'll just continue to get better. I still think in the final third he can, get his final ball right, his crosses. And then obviously in the defensive third, he's got to continue to work 1v1 to be able to shut guys down.
Next, we go to Jeff Lemieux. He'll be followed by Seth McCumber. Jeff, you're unmuted.
Hey, Caleb. Obviously, Carlos draws the penalty, scores the goal, but just wanted to get your thoughts on his overall performance, including some of the work that he puts in defensively, because that's an area where obviously he doesn't get quite as much attention.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent today. Thought he found a lot of dangerous spaces. I think, again, the formation shift kind of helped with that. Players looked comfortable. When you look at every player from Eli and Peyton, what they bring to the table, kind of I think the minor adjustment with the shape kind of helped them. The three center backs as well, with Mamadou and Brian, they looked a bit more comfortable for me. Tanner did a great job. And Carlos, I thought, found a lot more. I haven't looked at the analytics, but found a lot more dangerous positions, and had a huge influence on the match. And I think it helps, kind of in that 3-4-1-2, if you want to call it that, where he could float underneath the two strikers.
We'll take two more questions. We'll go to Seth McCumber first, and then we'll wrap up with Sam Minton. Seth, you're unmuted.
Hey, Coach, thanks for taking the time. What exactly prompted you to switch the formation? Is that something that you'll consider to use in the future?
Yeah, I try to win games. That's why I do everything. And, I try to think about the opponent. I try to think about my team. Try to think about the personnel that I have. And, this is something I've had in my mind for, several weeks. And, I felt like it was what was going to push us over the top. And doesn't mean we won't play, the 4-2-3-1, which becomes a 3-4-3 in the build, and a 4-4-2 defensively. Doesn't mean we won't do that sometimes as well, because we've been good at that formation. But we just felt like this was something that was going to push us over the top, and we felt like it was going to give us actually more attack, and I felt it did. We got more chances today. We should have scored more than one goal.
For our last question, we'll go back to Sam. Sam, you're unmuted.
And Caleb, obviously, we saw the returns of Leo Campana and Thomas Chocolat. With both of them, just overall, how do you feel they're building their fitness? And especially for Thomas, it looked like he was a little bit emotional after the match. So as a coach, what's it like to see a player get to return to the pitch after such a long time away?
Yeah, real proud of Tomas. It's a long journey. He's out 9 months with an ACL. He worked really hard. He didn't go on holiday over Christmas. He stayed and he worked with our trainer. His hunger is going to really help us. And, Leo obviously should have scored the breakaway, but he's going to be in those positions. He's going to create chances. And, I thought Maxi Rudy and Ganago did an excellent job as well. So, again, in a two-front, I think it brought those two guys to life even more. And, in the end, it worked today. So we'll do what we always do, and we'll look at the opponent next game and figure out what we think is the best way to go next game.
Yeah, I thought the adjustment throughout the week, we set up a little bit differently today, and from what we saw in film, they struggled to deal with that type of formation. I thought we were really good in the first 45 minutes. Obviously, when playing away from home, especially at this place, very difficult to play at. Great crowd, great team. Second half, they came at us. We have to be a little bit better in that. We can't be flat-footed. Because obviously they nearly popped us for one. But at the end, playing away from home, getting 3 points, you can't be too upset with what happened today.
Frank DeLappa will go to you next, followed by Sam. Frank, you're unmuted now.
Good, hey Matt. Road win and a shutout in over 104 minutes as well. So how much does a result like that boost the team's confidence?
Yeah, I think the team has worked really hard throughout the week. I would say, I thought we've looked relatively pretty good over the last 3 games, this one included. I think we've created much more goal-scoring opportunities, chances. But to win on the road, like I said, this is by far one of the most difficult places, and I think my time here is a Rev. I've only won here once. So it's not an easy place to come and play. Very difficult, very good team, like I said. So we respect them a lot. They have a really good quality of players. So to come here to kind of snatch and grab this, it's a nice feeling.
Sam will go to you next, followed by Seth. Sam?
Matt, congrats on the win, and I just kind of wanted to ask you about your teammate Peyton Miller. The broadcast kind of talked about how he was able to keep a goal scorer offside on that second disallowed goal. Just overall, what's it like to kind of see him continue to develop and kind of grow into his game?
Yeah, for somebody that's 17 playing at this level, I think he's far beyond his years, but I think there's still a lot of growth to be had. And that's normal at 17. I mean, I don't think I was anywhere near this level at 17. So for him to perform, to be starting for this team, to, put in good performances like he has, it's a great thing to see and great thing for him. But his ceiling's very high, so he still has a lot to improve. But, he can do that. I think he has that capability. I think he has that mentality, and it is something he wants. He wants to play at a higher level, and he will continue to grow as long as he keeps pushing himself.
Seth, you're unmuted now.
Hi, Matt. Congratulations on the win. Can you just talk about 2 performances? Carlos Heel, all over the field, obviously draws and scores the penalty, and then Ivicic made a bunch of really big saves today.
Yeah, Cappy leads us through his own abilities. Somebody that you can rely on to put in great performances. Somebody that gets us out of pressure. And leads by example. Ali, same. Obviously, you're a little more isolated as a goalkeeper, and you have to come up big in moments, and he asked for us, especially recently. But he's also vocal in the back. So he's a little bit of both, As a goalkeeper, you are isolated, and he does put in those performances and makes great saves, but I think he also leads by being vocal. It's very important that, as a group, that it's not just on one or two guys. It's a team leading each other, and that's what we did today. I thought we were really good, and I think everybody was engaged, and that was the biggest difference maybe from the start of the season. I think maybe we weren't as engaged, and now I feel like everybody's on the same page and pushing for wins.
Okay, we have one more question from Jeff. Jeff, you're unmuted now.
Matt, it was a 10-month road to recovery for Tomas Chankala. It seemed like he stayed relentlessly positive throughout that entire process. So what was it like for you as his teammate to see that process finally finish today with his return to the field?
Yeah, man, he's worked really, really hard. He didn't, I don't know if he took any days off, to be honest with you. He probably wanted to keep going even when the physios were telling him to take days off. So he's somebody that was very motivated as a player to be on his team, you know. He's just awesome to play with. He's fun, man. He's just a little bit different, but different in like a good way, you know. He's super spicy. I mean, just not his shooting, but his personality. It's awesome. A very big competitor, and to see him on the field again is a great feeling. Someone that I really enjoy playing with, so I'm happy for him. I know the team was happy for him, so it was a nice feeling to have him back on the pitch.